good evening and welcome to another episode of Big Fat Arts. Well, amidst the Fringe Festival, we're continuing our Fringe theme, and tonight we have with us Vasilikey Kapsalos, did I get that right?
Yes.
And John Breheney. How are you both?
All the better for seeing you, Linzi.
Oh, and likewise too, thank you, John. Now, with Fringe Vasilikey, your performance is really quite unusual. Can you give us a little bit of a synopsis of what the content is?
It traces the development of the little boy from infancy to puberty to manhood. It explores the stages of infancy, those 12 stages from 2 months to 6 months to 12 months. In puberty we trace what changes that take place, the voice developing, though you can't really exhibit the voice developing, but you can exhibit the penis growing larger.
Right.
And the body changing, and the relationships which are formed, dating, kissing, going out. And in the manhood section we look at the X-rated aspect of manhood. The gay boy, the straight boy, the bisexual boy, they're covered in their poses and in their physicality.
Then you actually bake while you're during this exhibit, is that correct? You're actually, what we were talking about earlier is you have the dough that represents the different phases of life, and each dough, and then you're actually baking on the set, is that correct?
I will be mixing the ingredients to form the dough, yes, rolling out the dough and then cutting out that little boy.
I see. And this is your first solo exhibit. Can you give me a little bit of a rundown of what you've done in the past?
I like poetry, so this year I've been going down to the Builders Arms Hotel every Sunday from 3 o'clock onwards and reciting my own poetry and testing the scene myself as a poet and airing out my poems in performance or as straight poetry.
Because I read your media release and you're so diverse in what you do. Is there anything that is a favourite as such?
No, if there is a theme in mind, I choose the best medium for expression and I put my energies into that.
Right. Because we were talking earlier too about your spirituality as well, that I asked you the question, like, how old are you? Because you look about 12, and you said, what was it that you're in?
I'm in stage 2 at the moment.
In stage 2. And how much of your own spirituality is in this performance? Like, because it is really quite unique, isn't it?
The undercurrent of the exhibit will be seen in the written context, in the text that will be following each stage, each section. So in the infancy section, for instance, you will have my reflections of my own infancy, and then in my puberty section you have my reflections of my pubescent years, though that came later.
And also it's called What a Little Boy's Made Of.
The more I question that, from whatever perspective I come from, there's always a different answer. Ask that question to anybody down the street and they'll give you a different answer. But the bottom line of that is, in the manhood section, what does being a man mean to you? It's a tough one for men in the 90s at the moment, and it's a tough question to answer, and it's a question that has travelled overseas to my pen friends. I sent that question to them as a questionnaire, and also around Melbourne to the Melbourne saunas. Oh,
right, so you're actually researching the saunas?
Yes.
Oh, I see. And what, did you get a good response? Like, what was the response? I mean, we would have had the most interesting questions we can say from saunas, or?
No response.
No response at all?
No comment from the saunas.
Really? And the other thing, you've brought along a little prop, have you? Have you brought something to show us?
Yes.
Good. Because the thing is, it'd be fabulous if you made these biscuits and actually marketed them so women around the world could let out their angst and eat with men or something. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
If any business out there is interested in taking this idea further, then I'd be happy to collaborate.
Collaborate, yeah. Take on. Can we have a look at them very quickly?
Yes, these are, I must warn you, these are sample little biscuits, and they were made today. And these are the shape of little biscuits which will be eaten and sampled on the night. So these are actually,
Heaven.
you know, for
And they
you.
all what stage is that one, say?
This is the little boy. This is the baby boy.
Oh, he's very camp, aren't they? Aren't they, John? Aren't they gorgeous?
Make a great ring, really. I thought one of them
Really?
just put a little backing on and
look,
Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
They are. I found them. They're so cute. These little ones. Look.
What stage of life is he? He looks like he's sort of a little fetus or something.
Look, they're all identical because it's the same biscuit cutter. But you look, some of them are hard, some of them are soft. We don't know the inside of them, but you know, you'll be able to say
After talking to Vasilikey, what a little boy's made of, what do you think of all that? I mean,
Well, Lindsay, I know you're going to be shocked, but I'm almost speechless.
almost speechless.
And I do have to say to you, as you know, I'm a very private person, and I know my fans know that I'm a very private person, and so I don't like to air my dirty linen in laundry, but my show, The Virgin Tour, actually is almost like a catharsis, because the last few months have been very painful months for me, and it's my way of actually expressing myself through song. Lindsay, if I can say that to you.
You can say that, John. And I'm very sad to hear, because this has something to do with your relationship with Queenie.
Well, Queenie and I have had problems. We're working through them,
You are working through them.
and that's all I want to say to you.
And how much about yourself that you are learning through this experience, shall we say, that is coming out in this performance of yours?
Well, I've been primal screaming that much, I'm almost hoarse.
And it's making your hair stand up on end too, John.
Well, actually, no, that's the fantastic new product I've actually found. It's Margaret Thatcher hair,
Oh, Margaret.
Survive a Nuclear Holocaust.
It looks
It's the only
fabulous.
thing I'd ever endorse about that woman.
Actually, you and I, you said that you'd actually workshop me through my hair at the moment, because I'm sort of heading very much like you, as we can all see. And I must ache to be like, I ache for your hair.
Well, look, that's a common thing that people actually tell me, Lindsay. A lot of my fans are actually aching for a lot of things, and that's why the Virgin Tour is happening. And can I tell you, Lindsay, this kind of, look at, and I know I've just thrown on something because, you know, I've just run straight from rehearsal. That's why I need a bit of a towel down from sweating. But really, you're going to see fashion, excitement, and not only that, Lindsay, architectural dancing.
Now, John, I'd really like you to take the architectural dancing a little bit, a step further. And can you tell us what architectural dancing is?
Well, I think it's
not
going
like
to, it's almost like an artistic form of rebirthing. I think the audience is drawn into the whole point of the architectural dancing in a way they had never thought possible, and they'll see moves they never thought artistically possible.
So we're not seeing people dressed up as the Chrysler Building, perhaps, and sort of waving around a stage or anything like
Oh
that?
no, it's very postmodern.
Very
postmodern, very cutting edge, very fringe.
Right. Now, John, you're a very popular face. I was almost going to say common, but you're a very
please.
popular face about town. You're a very well-known gay performer, camp performer, whatever. And how do you feel about being in fringe? I mean, you obviously don't limit yourself to gay performances as such, which is always good to see.
Well, no, look, I'm never one to boast, Lindsay, but Virginia High, the festival director, actually asked me to participate, and you know, when you get that kind of imploring, you really have to participate, don't you? It's our civic duty. And of course, as always when I perform, there'll be that little bit of Paul Keating in my heart, so that'll be special. We'll be sharing with people, and also, what's fantastic too, there is also a workshop element, so for any celebrities who often do come to my performances, they'll learn how to deal with stalkers, because I know, like most celebrities, I've had my own personal stalkers too.
Also, it's called the Virgin Tour being because?
Well, it's me stepping out for the first time. It's a big step going from Elwood to the North Melbourne Town Hall, Lindsay, so that is a big step. And I also want to tell you too, if people are wanting to know about music, I'm going through a very exciting Boz Skaggs period.
Oh, you're not?
So I think, you know, you can get excited about that. And also, can I say the word to you, Bonnie Tyler?
Oh, no, please.
Yeah, so they're big names, big fashion, high hair. You're going to get it all at the Virgin Tour. And Lindsay, do you want to know where it is?
I would love to know where it is.
Well, it's actually at the supper room.
Yes.
At the North Melbourne Town Hall.